Hi, it's Lynn Liaz, and I am on Ancient Origins website. Now, I'm doing an article on finding the Nephilim in the United States of America, and I came across this article and wanted to give you a little bit of background to show you a couple of things. Now, in the Bible, particularly in the Old Testament, you can read a lot of the historical accounts of Baal worship and the giants and so forth. And we know that Joshua and his troops went in and they were to kill all these people and even the children and the women. In many cases, God told them to spare no one. And as you're reading things like that and you don't really know or understand the details behind it, just like I did when I originally read that, wow, why would God want them to kill children? That's horrible. I don't understand this, but I'll just accept it. But I really don't understand it. And I always had trouble with that. But what people don't understand is that these were not normal children. Okay, they were Nephilim children. They were children of the giants and of that race. Okay, so that's why God had to have Joshua destroy them. Okay, they weren't normal children. But let's go back and look. There's an article here that says Bronze Age cult complex discovered in Judean foothills may have been dedicated to Baal. So what it explains here is it says archaeologists excavating the Tel Burna archaeological site in the Shephelah region of what is now Israel have unearthed a cult complex dating back around 3,300 years, which may have been used for worshiping Baal, the Canaanite storm god, according to a report in Live Science. Now, a lot of these gods, or actually I'll venture to say most of them, or all of them, were fallen angels. Okay, now you'll see later how it talks about little trinkets they found that are half human and half animal. These Nephilim were part animal and part human. Okay, and a lot of the gods they worshipped were the actual fallen angels and their creations. What had happened basically when the women had sexual relations with these fallen angels created these freaks of nature. Okay, these beings that were literally horrible. They were murdering people, they were eating people, they were eating people's babies and children. This is how evil and nasty they were. It says the site of Tel Burna was primarily inhabited in the Bronze and Iron Ages and was one of a series of sites along the border between the kingdoms of Judah and Philistia in the Iron Age. Numerous discoveries have been made since the Tel Burna excavation project. Headed by archaeologist Dr. Itzik Shai, first began investigating the site in 2010, including fortifications, domestic areas, and numerous silos for grain storage. Now the search team have uncovered numerous intriguing structures and artifacts that point to the presence of a cult complex used for sacrificial rituals and ceremonies. And that's exactly what these people did, and that's exactly what the Nephilim were involved in. And you can see a picture right here. Archaeologists have estimated that the cult complex was large, with a courtyard measuring 52 by 52 feet. Inside the ancient structure, researchers uncovered numerous artifacts that suggest the site was used for religious worship, including fragments of face masks, which may have been used in cultic ceremonies, giant storage vessels from Cyprus, possibly used as storage for tithes brought to the cultic complex, figurines, some of which look part animal, part human, a scarab, which is an artifact with an Egyptian hieroglyphic inscription on it, 3 connected cups, currently been analyzed for residues, numerous goblets and chalices, and burnt animal bones, which may indicate sacrificial rituals or feasts. Okay, so these are the things, some of the many horrible things that went on back during the times of Baal worship. Now, Baal worship, as many of you know, Still goes on today. Sometimes it's obvious when you look at satanic cults and rituals, and in other ways, it can be unobvious, such as things that are seemingly innocent, which people blow off. I mean, the devil's not going to always be obvious. He's very crafty and sneaky. And many of us who call ourselves Christians unknowingly or ignorantly take part rather, in Baal worship. Now, if you're told about it and you blow it off, then you cannot claim ignorance, okay? So if you're told that something you're doing or something in your home, such as the Christmas tree, okay, the Christmas tree and much of the traditions surrounding the Christmas celebration actually come from ancient Baal worship. The usage of tobacco products and so forth comes from ancient Baal worship. Pornography and many things involved in what you would see in a pornographic video or pornographic photos comes or has its roots in ancient Baal worship. There's many things. Again, some are obvious things and some are not quite as obvious. Nonetheless, whether it's out of ignorance or intentional, God hates it all, and we will be accountable for Baal worship in our own lives. Okay, it says the archaeologists said that while more analysis is needed, the complex may have been dedicated to Baal, the Canaanite storm god. The worship of Baal in Canaan was bound to the economy of the land, which depended on the regularity and adequacy of the rains. So these people thought that by doing these things and offering up sacrifices to this rain god, that they would be blessed with enough rain for their crops. Anxiety about the rainfall was a continuing concern of the inhabitants, which gave rise to the rights to ensure the coming of the rains. Thus, the basis of the Baal cult was the utter dependence of life on the rains, which were regarded as Baal's bounty. So these people were paying homages to satanic gods for the things that they wanted, which oftentimes involved the sacrifice of their children, babies, adult human beings, animals, and so forth. Okay, so it was very evil. Now, I'm happy to say that I serve a God that, you know, gave the life of Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ willingly gave his life, knowing it was an eternal sacrifice for all of our sins. Okay, we serve a wonderful God who does not require and does not want, in fact, it would be a sin and would be murder, does not require us to sit there and do such hideous things. Now, the last time I looked at the statistics, it could have changed, but America was second. China, I believe, was the top of the list. America second in the numbers of abortions every year. Okay, I've seen many a minister talk about in some writings on the fact that when a woman has an abortion, let me back up here. In Baal worship, in the belly of the statue was like a place where there was fire, and that's where they would burn the fire, and the child would be sacrificed. Now, in other forms of Baal worship, they would lay the baby, they would heat up the hands of the statue, okay, and it would get like totally hot. You know, it's hot metal, and they would lay the baby in the burning hands, and the baby, of course, would scream blood-curdling screams because, well, it's being laid in burning hot hands of a metal statue. And they would play the drums really loud because the parents, of course, would hear their baby and the screams and so forth, and it would move their heart, like they would just be tormented over what was happening to their child. So they would play the drums louder so that the parent would not hear it quite as well. But those are different ways they did that. But if you look at the fact that they had a furnace, so to speak, in the belly of the Baal statue, where the child would be killed. You can see that same spirit alive today when a woman has an abortion. Okay, so abortions stem from ancient Baal worship. So many things that we do each and every day that we don't even think about. Kind of one that seems really innocent, and I know this sounds crazy, but just think about it. In many people's homes, what is the center or the focal point in their home? Usually the TV set, or maybe you watch stuff on the computer. Okay, so but let's do the TV set. Okay, you've got your TV set on a pedestal, so to speak. You've got it on sitting on something that you can watch it, or maybe you've got it on your wall, and people just sit around for hours and hours, or maybe they have that one show that they have to watch every day, and they turn it on. And in a sense, it's almost like worshiping that TV set. It could be movies, TV programs, whatever, but they make that TV the focal point, and they gather around and watch this program. And 9 times out of 10, the program that most people are watching is very ungodly. It's not something that God would want us to watch. So just some things to think about. But I wanted to take you back and show you this article. And then on my article that I'm doing a post on, it has to do with how they have found evidence of Nephilim in the United States of America. So be sure and check out that article. The link will be below this video in the About section on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much, and God bless you.